It is May 7th, 2016. I'm Mike Callahan. Welcome to the Watchman News. So last night we covered a situation to where a reporter named Michael Emry was taken into custody yesterday. More information has been coming out about that, and I think it pretty well speaks for itself. Let me get the video switched over to there and we will get started. Alright, you can go right to the Watchman News Facebook page to be able to easily find this. If you go down the page, you will see this post here, just a few down at this point. And there was quite a bit of homework done here. We're going to go through the different stuff here, but I figured it was important to read first, and then we can verify what we read. So there's a couple of updates, but we're going to start out with the bottom and work our way up. It starts out, Michael Emry of TVOI News arrested at 5:30 a.m. on May 6, 2016. Warrant signed on the same day. Awful early for the judge to be signing warrants, which I agree. Sheriff Palmer was out of town, which made the feds comfortable enough to kidnap Michael. Being that Grant County is on record as a UN-free zone, meaning feds do not have authority there, Michael was at the rally for the Hammond family on January 2nd as a reporter and nothing more. And I can verify that. He done a wonderful job of reporting, and that's all he was doing was reporting. Michael had been releasing critical information about multiple cases that were sensitive to law enforcement, including the death of a rancher at the hands of the officers now put on leave. He had been investigating Oregon, reporting as well, in good faith to get local residents truthful information instead of opinionated articles that do not include 100% factual information. Thanks to Les Zaitz and company consuming all media outlets mafia style, leaving little room for others' attempts to display an alternative to Les Zait's narrative. I believe Michael was taken to stifle the truth and nothing more. And I have to agree with that. Real quick, I'm going to bounce over to something else. Right here. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see all that in there. Here is a report, and I will put this down in a link. I'm not going to read the report because I don't want Mike freaking, or Les, not Mike. I don't want Les freaking out on me because I read his report. I had issues with this quote-unquote journalist before. Back when the ordeal was going on in Burns, Oregon, he wrote an article that was directly implicating us in with what was happening out there when all we were doing was reporting on it, trying to make sure that the story got out there. Because as you know, all the mainstream outlets are just going to put little snippets up of what they want people to think. That's not what we do. We want people to think for themselves. So anyway, when you read this article, you really need to understand that this guy is probably as much in bed with the FBI and others as anybody. So, and we're going to come to some things that prove that here in just a moment. Back to, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Back to this. Let me scroll back down. Sorry about that. Alright, there has been an update, and it reads as such. It's been brought to my attention that there is no signature from the judge on this warrant, only a printed name. The only signature visible is the one of the agent acting as a lawful agent under the color of law. Treason. Alright, and this other update, we'll read it real quick, and then we'll dive into these documents. Another update, Les Zaitz met with Emry on Thursday in Harney County. Now you might understand why I made the previous statement. Alright, so let's look at these a little closer. Here is the arrest warrant. Kind of giving a little bit of time that people can read those. You can pause the video All right, let's go to the next one. Now, you'll see here, unlawful possession of a machine gun not registered to him in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. Unlawful possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. I want to speak on this for just a second. Michael Emry is a weapons expert. He wouldn't need to be in possession of a fully automatic firearm to have the knowledge of how to turn one into a fully automatic firearm. So I'm having a really hard time believing that he had this particular firearm in his possession. And there's a couple of reasons why. If you read that story, which I will link on Oregonian Live, if you read that story, it will state that he allegedly took this firearm from a previous place of employment. That makes no sense to me. No sense at all. Okay, if he would have done that, why didn't this weapon come up being reported as missing long ago? I mean, really? Do you really have so many fully automatic 50 caliber rifles laying around that you can't keep track of them all? I don't think so. I really don't think so. All of a sudden now, oh, it came up missing. So if he was in possession of this firearm, then his previous employer knew he was in possession of this firearm. It's that simple. It's that simple. You don't just, these aren't a weapon that you shove down your pants and walk out the door with, all right? This is a 50 caliber weapon. Somebody in our chat, I think this morning, was saying the legs to him, I think he said, was like 35 pounds. This is not something that you just, casually stroll out the door with, okay? Here's the affidavit. I'm going to go ahead and switch. I know it's kind of quickly, but this will be cut out as a video, so you'll be able to pause and read it all. This is the second page of the affidavit with the firearm they claim was in his possession. Page 3 of the affidavit. That is interesting. The last I knew, you didn't sign your name like that. This guy didn't sign his name. This Miguel character didn't sign his name in print. He signed it like you're supposed to. The judge, however, did it in print. That doesn't... And then there's initials underneath of it. I wonder whose initials those are. Because it seems to me like the judge's name was printed, and the reason why those initials are there is because someone else signed his name. Now, I could be mistaken on that, but that's typically what that means when you see small initials next to something that was changed or done by somebody else. And that would be a good reason why the name was printed, because it wasn't that individual. I think that's the first page, is it not? Yeah. We're back to the first page. So, they're at it again. From my understanding, Mr. Emry was doing a wonderful job of uncovering the truth. And I think that's what this is all about. It's not a matter necessarily. I don't know if he had that firearm or not. I don't know. It was also stated in the article from the Oregonian Live that he was in possession of items to manufacture explosives. Well, that can cover a lot of things, okay? So we got to be careful with that. really, we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to find out what's going on and go from there. I know Tuesday we're supposed to have Jim Willie with us, and I know that Kathy is trying to set it up so that Vicki Davis will be with us as well. So hopefully maybe we'll be able to get to to the bottom of this even more during that show. So we'll see. But for now, that's the latest updates on Michael Emry. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. They definitely need them.